Alright everybody, got a awesome game replay for you. I have here the Shinonome, which is a premium Japanese destroyer, which you can get from one of the campaigns, and I highly recommend it. It's got the triple tube launchers with great Japanese torpedoes that hit really hard, and they actually replaced one of the anti-aircraft mounts with a third turret, so you've got extra firepower to face other destroyers. And so, speeding up off the start here, our first victim comes into view just 4 minutes into the game. This New Mexico is hanging back, sniping, and I'm going to send him some little fishes to make his day just a little right. So I'm a bit far forward here, and this is a bit dangerous because the carrier could spot me. And as you see, we've already lost 2 of our destroyers and a cruiser, and they haven't lost anything yet. Oh, there we go. First kill for our team. Got one of their cruisers. But again, this is pretty dangerous because they do have 4 destroyers. 2 on the left side there, 2 on the right, and I could easily get into a crossfire. Anyhow, send out the fish towards that New Mexico and move back towards our team to see if I can protect and spot for the Warspite behind me. My div mate, Ironhide. Alright, so we spot the hill over here. It's a US destroyer, also a premium. But I have to watch these torpedoes hit here, so I zoom in. 1, 2, and 3 hits plus a flood. 24,000 points on the board. And, oh, comes into view, T-61. Try to get some shots off, but he disappears behind the island. If I just held my shot a little bit longer there, I could have maybe landed a few. But have to be careful here because the T-61 has hydroacoustic search, so he can spot me on the other side of this island. But he also has pretty good guns and a smoke screen, so he can disappear and fire from smoke. So I'm going to keep my distance and also be mindful that he may have torpedoes out. Now the hill shows up in his smoke screen, detected by our Emil Burton. Look at that. Full damage, 6 pens, 3,000 damage. Take him out along with Emil Burton's help. And now it's time to deal with that T-61. Try to warn Ironhide about the T-61 hiding in smoke and move up to support, but it's too late. T-61 starts to charge. I fire a shot, make 2 hits, but it's not enough. He moves forward and takes down my div mate. Now, it's going to be a matter of revenge. This T-61 took out my buddy, and he's going to go down. But it might take some time. So I sent some torpedoes over towards the Queen Elizabeth as just kind of a blind fire. Hope that he comes around that island and catches some. Caught in the hydroacoustic from the T-61, so I need to keep my distance. Try not to take any damage from that Queen Elizabeth. Now, one thing you got to remember about this ship, it's got the Japanese turrets, and they are slow turret traversal. But they do have good HE alpha. So they pack a punch. And there it is, 1 hit on the Queen Elizabeth. It causes a flood. Does use damage con right away, but I don't have time to follow up out of range. And so is everyone else on my team, so I think he's going to get away with that, using that damage con early. But now we are moving up with Emil Burton to try and make some progress against the Visby and the T-61. Thinking about sending torpedoes here, but Queen Elizabeth is too far. I don't think those torpedoes are gonna land it. A little distracted, I pull a Notzer here, bounce off the island, but that's okay. And our Emil Burton is in poor shape here. I wasn't able to help out. And he goes down to the Visby. Now I'm very outnumbered in the middle here, and I'd like to try and take out this T-61. It's personal at this point. You know, but he hits the brakes and smokes up. Fire another shot, and also I send some torpedoes here, but he's already in smoke and don't get any hits. So we speed up this part here. It's just me being attacked by the aircraft carrier, which does quite a bit of damage here. Hits me on all three of his passes. I try to smoke up and hide, but no. Over about 4,000 damage. My radio location switches sides all of a sudden, so I struggle to bring my turrets around because the Visby or the New York might be over on this side. Turn around, only get the front turrets on, but the front turrets will be enough. 2 hits right there, 14,000 damage. And the second volley, another 2 hits and he's down. Unfortunately, he lights a fire here, and I'm not sure what to do, so I let it burn for a minute in case the New York has HE. This is the New York from earlier that I hit the 3 torpedoes on. He's recovered much of his health. I take a couple of shots. I honestly think that I'm a goner at this point. 4,000 health, 4 kilometers. But it only took 1 torpedo to take this guy out. It caused the detonation. So we'll speed this up here as I'm being attacked by the aircraft carrier yet again. Have to use my smoke screen to maintain what little health I've got left. Try to move up with this Duke, but he goes down. And I'm already committed. It's now 2 versus 3, and if I stay back, the carrier will just keep on attacking me until I go down. So I've got to bring the fight to the carrier. Got to push into their cap and see what I can do. Now he did use up all of his attack planes, so I'm relatively safe for a moment here. But I am concerned about the detection. If he spots me, the T-61, which is nearby, outside of the cap, can take some shots and possibly take me out. So I'm trying to keep my distance from that T-61, actively dodge his incoming fire. But, oh, look who it is. Aircraft carrier hiding behind an island. I send 2 flights of torpedoes where I think he's going to be. Then I focus all my attention on these torpedo bombers because a single torpedo would take me out at this point. As you can see, my one little anti-aircraft mount is popping off at those torpedo bombers, but not even so much as a hit. Torpedo bombers come back for another pass. I send a 3rd flight just for good measure at this point, but I think the first 2 are going to be enough. There it is, devastating strike, 100% to 0. That aircraft carrier is down. However, I'm not out of the woods yet. He still has a basically full squadron of attack planes, and they're going to come back and try and sink me here. My anti-aircraft was firing at the fighters. Still no planes shot down. As you can see, anti-aircraft on this thing is kind of a joke. Alright, so I try and make my profile as slim as possible. Go full speed. Hits me for 1,000 and starts a fire. I have to damage con it immediately. Thankfully, the friendly aircraft carrier dropped some fighters for me. So I'm going to try and smoke up and hide, as this is my last chance. If he lands this shot here, I am a goner. So luckily I dodge, and the fighters latch on and take out that squadron. No more air threat. I just need to be careful about being spotted by this squadron of fighters overhead. But I get a little too eager and head for the cap, as the T-61 is quite low, and I feel like I can take him. So I head into the cap, detected by those fighters, but as I move forward, they fall behind me. T-61 sends torpedoes, widespread, and they miss. I'm trying to communicate to the aircraft carrier that the T-61 is in this corner over here. Keep pinging the map, but then his squadron is recalled, and he sends torpedo bombers. Not sure why, but it's too late. There he is. Line up those guns. He hits me. I hit him back, sink him. His final shell takes me down to 572 hit points. And this is how the game will wrap up here. We've got the point. We're behind on points, but we're capping their flag, and we still have a few minutes left. Our friendly aircraft carrier is moving in to drop on the Queen Elizabeth. Trying to finish him off here, and I'm trying to get in position to line up a final torpedo strike. We do have to eliminate this final battleship to win the game. Otherwise, the time will run out, and I believe we will lose on points. So let's see here. Carrier gets off his last set of torpedoes, and he sinks him to win the game. Alright, great game. So here's the after action report. Total of 124,000 damage, mostly by torpedo hits, those 8 torpedo hits. Sunk 4 ships, so it's a Kraken denied, got Confederate, devastating strike, and high caliber. So let's take a look at the team score. Coming in with 1,889 base XP, topping the team, and pulling out a big win. I just realized here that our friendly carrier had already sunk at the end of the game, so he had his last squadron of torpedo bombers drop the final torpedoes that sunk that Queen Elizabeth. So it came into play, the torpedoes that hit early on the Queen Elizabeth that contributed to her demise. And finally, the detailed report. Got full damage on their aircraft carrier, that New York. Full damage there. Took out 2 of their destroyers. Their New Mexico. Did substantial damage on the Queen Elizabeth. And, you know, it was just all around a great game. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.